On Saturday evening, so that means it is time for a YouTube video. And let me just double check that I am live over here. It looks like I am, so that is a good thing. Hopefully some more folks will come in. It is Saturday, it's supposed to be YouTube. Okay, I'm good. I'm not gonna lie, I had it all set up to go on Facebook, and at the last second I was like, no, it's supposed to be on YouTube. Hey Karen, hi Kathy. All right, so here's the card that I gave you the sneak peek of this morning. It uses what I term a flyover set. This is Countless Trees. It's on page 47 in the mini, in the July to December mini, and it's really kind of easy to miss. Like, you know, you could miss that, right? I mean, it's pretty easy to miss that. So I would suggest that you go ahead and take another look. As the name implies, you can make countless numbers of trees with it. What's interesting about this is it's a reversible stamp. So that means you use one side of the stamp to create the detailed image, and then you turn it over on the acrylic block and use the back side to create the fill. So that's how they did this. This is the same stamp, just used the front and the back, and we're going to do the same thing here. Hello, Marcia. Appreciate you joining. Welcome for your first time. So I used the Celebrate Everything. This is a host exclusive DSP, so you can get that with Stampin' Rewards with individual orders over, it's actually about $180 because it's $18 in Stampin' Rewards. So you can either do that as an individual order or as a workshop. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll get you together with some of your friends and give you a host code, and I'm sure we can earn that. It's 48 sheets of paper, so it's pretty awesome. And then I just stamped it up. It's in colors of Mint Macaron and Soft Succulent, and here is our inside. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Oh, I used Very Best Occasions. It is an image only set, which means you're going to want a sentiment set with long. Hi, Ginny. Hi, Judy, and Amanda, and Debbie, and Faith, and everybody. I appreciate you guys coming. Alrighty, let's get started. So I did do a little pre-cutting, aren't you glad? So I'm going to start with I thought this paper looked kind of like clouds, sort of like clouds. And the Pool Party, Mint Macaron, and Soft Succulent go together really pretty. So I'm just going to use that as my card base, as the front of the card, not the card base, the front of the card. And then to make this curved edge one, I cut a regular size, so 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 inch piece of basic white. And what I did is, let's see, I'm going to put this back together. It was like this. So I just put this curved die from Basic Borders in place, and I measured down about 1.5 inches on both sides. The 1.5 inches is not critical, although it gives you that gives you a nice amount of space for your trees. But what's more important in Mary's world is that it be even, so that you don't end up with something like that, unless that's what you're going for. I wasn't, so I wanted to make sure it was straight. All right, so there's that. Now we're going to go ahead and make some trees. Now I had an easier time stamping the fill portion first. But what I would suggest is that you get your grid paper out and you do some test runs and just see which one makes you happier, which one you are more comfortable with. So we're going to do the Weeping Tree. That's what I'm calling it, is the Weeping Tree. It's going to be a Mint Macaron tree. And I'm just going to ink that. That's the back of the stamp. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have put stamps on upside down and stamped them not meaning to. These were actually meant to do that. I'm going to stamp this off on my grid paper, and then I'm going to stamp it on my cardstock. Okay, so we're going to go right about there, like so. And then I'll just give it a quick swipe, although really there's not a lot of ink on it. By the time you've stamped it off once and then stamped it on there's not a lot of ink. But, you know, good hygiene is important. Stamp hygiene is important. And then I've turned it over, so now the engraved side is up. Oop. And then I just dropped it in my ink pad like a silly girl. Yeah, Julie, they're really nice. Those are one of the a la carte dies, so the standalone dies, and they're very, very handy. This one actually looks like a cloud, like a cloud bank. And it's fun to be able to create a pointed banner with that, or a concave banner, just depending on which way you turn it. So it's a pretty handy set. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this here so you can see what it is. So you see, by using full strength ink and the engraved side, I'm getting my pretty image here. Okay, like that. And I have managed to get ink everywhere. Let me see if I can get that off, you guys, because it's going to bug me if I don't. It's just going to bug me if I don't. Thanks, Amanda. I'm glad. I mean, hi, my name is Mary. I'll be your enabler today. All right. And although you can't get this at Stampin' Up, I highly recommend that you have yourself a sand eraser for when you make little mistakes like that, so you don't have to go back and start over just for a little tiny smudge of ink, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this away for just a second. And I'm going to do the trunk of this one, and it is in soft suede. Now, this trunk is a single stamp, okay? So I didn't do a second stamp of it. You probably could. In fact, we could give it a shot. Shall we do that? You want to? You want to try it? Shall we do it? No, I'm going to leave it like that. But I'm going to test it, because I didn't test it before. I'm going to get that out of the way. We're going to test here. And then I'm going to stamp this here. No, I'm going to just do it the way I did it, because I liked it the way I had it the first way. Don't change, Mary. Stick with it. Don't change. Okay, so there's that trunk. Now we'll put him away, because that is just going, that's just asking. It's begging, I tell you, begging for an inktastrophie to happen. Now I'm going to make my, what I think is probably going to end up being like my favorite tree. And I think I'm going back to Hawaii, right? It's back to the Hawaii thing. So I'm using this palm top, and I'm using it in soft succulent. I have the flat side, and I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm going to stamp right here. Okay. And I'm going to turn him over, ink up. And I'm going to pull it to me just a little bit so I can be sure to get it lined up. And stamp him like that. So cute. Now, his trunk is actually straight. The stamp is straight. But I'm gonna curve it a little bit, because I'm a rogue that way. And I'm gonna start him with his detailed one like that. Oops, not in soft succulent. Not in soft succulent. Oh, Judy, I bet McKinney, Texas is, in fact, hot. I'm just thinking. I said an inktastrophie. You don't want to have an inktastrophie where you stick your big... I would do it where I'd stick my big hand right in the ink pad. All right, so I have curved that around a little bit, and I'm going to stamp him just like that. And then I'll clean it off. And I'm going to turn it over, but I have to re-establish my curve, right? Because it's a straight stamp, so I'm going to have to re-establish my curve. And that's part of why I cleaned it, was so that I could mess with it a little bit. Except he doesn't want to stay. There we go. Oh, and I got him backwards. My brain is going sideways here. So let's see, what's going to be like that, and then he's going to curve like that. There we go. So if this is boggling your brain, I can't hardly blame you, because it's obviously boggling mine. Just put it on straight. It'll be fine. Straight is good. Give that a push. It's not wanting to stay. It must be wet still. Okay, stick, stick, stick. Making sure my curve is good. It seems like it is. But it's not wanting to stay. I promise I didn't have this trouble when I made the first one. I promise. Let me make sure that's good still. Give it a stamp off. And then stamp right there. There. So there you get it. Tell me that doesn't look just like a palm trunk. You're not very late, Audrey. Not hardly at all. You're doing good. I appreciate you coming. All right, now there's a little tiny stamp right here. See it? Little tiny. And it is grass. It's kind of stylized grass. And I'm just going to stamp it across the bottom a few times. It looks like, you know, sawgrass or something, like at the beach. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I think it's kind of cute. I like it. I like it. Now, let's put the inks away, Mary. Hey, Judy from South Carolina. Now, I am going to put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this little guy. And I'm going to use a few. I'm not going to lie. I like my dimensionals. That's why I cut them in half, because I feel so frugal when I do like that. Of course, it's not frugal. I could just use fewer of them, but that's no fun. We'll get these off, and then I'm going to just put this on the bottom of the card base. Actually, it's still not the card base, is it? It's still the card front. Oh my goodness. Oh no, Nancy, I hope you're getting better. You can, actually, Julie, it's not that hard because you can kind of test it. And it's not a huge curve. But if that's not going to make you comfortable, if you feel uncomfortable with that, absolutely just make it straight. It'll be fine. All right, so now I'm going to put this, I'm going to line it up with the card, the DSP portion of the card front. Just like that. There we go. Dunske. There's a Dunske. And before you joined, I stamped the Very Best Occasions sentiment in soft succulent on a piece of basic white, and I cut it with the third from smallest circle die in stylish shapes. If you don't have stylish shapes, just get stylish shapes, you guys. This is a workhorse. You need it, I promise. And that little guy is going to go right here. But wait, first, I'm going to use a little bit of this soft succulent open weave ribbon, and I'm just going to cut a couple of lengths of it. And I'm going to cut longer than I need on purpose, just so that I can play with it and then make it right how I want it. Use a little bit of Stampin' Seal Plus. It's just got a little more oomphy oomph. We're going to put that on there. Now, what I like to do when I'm doing this is I have my card base and I'm setting my card front on it so that I can get a good judge for how far my ribbon can be, right? Or anything else that I am trying to extend past the edge. And I am actually deliberately extending past the edge on this one. I like to go over the edge. I like to get outside the lines. What can I tell you? And then I will take some more dimensionales. Some dimensionales. And not put them on that side. That would be wrong. Put them on here. Need more dimensionals. Come here, dimensionals. Here we go. Like so. All right. Well, I was very busy today. I've made yogurt. I made a big batch of green tomatillo salsa from our garden. Tomatillos. And I roasted green chilies from our garden. So it's like I'm all Martha Stewart today. Now, with my card base kind of in place, I'm going to go ahead and just snip that off so it doesn't extend past the edge of the card base. That was very well done. Did you see that? I mean, that was some cutting prowess right there. And that shortened it up, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this one too. Dang, I did it twice in a row. There we go. Okay. And then I have some of these. Hey, thank you. I'm so glad you joined. Hi, Laura. I'm going to use some of these 2022-24 in color opals in soft succulent. And I'm going to put one right here. and the little one next to it, like so, and a little one over here. Oh, did you see him jump off of there like that? There we go. And there is our card front. Cute, right? All right, so on the inside, we're going to stamp a second Very Best Occasion sentiment in Soft Succulent. Now remember, with these stamps, the ones you can't see through, so the cling stamps, you want to do a test run ahead of time. I like to use my grid paper, and I line that one of those sentence lines up with a grid paper line. And that let me know right there that as long as this looks straight to me, it's going to stamp straight. Because remember, how straight it is a factor of two things. How good a job you did putting the label on, and how good a job they did stamping it in the first place, or engraving it in the first place. All right, and here the other trick is don't make a portrait. I'm making a landscape card, so let's do this in landscape too. I'm going to try to get this straight. Don't rock the boat. There we go. Perfect. I'll take it. Alrighty. Now I'm going to stamp my weeper again. Turn him over. We'll start with the back. We're going to do him in mint macaron. Some mint macaron. We'll stamp him off once, and then stamp the side. Now this one, I like him to be straight, so I'm going to try to make him straight. Like that. Wipe it down, turn it over, and just like that. Okay, now we'll put him aside, pull out the soft suede again. Countless Trees, page 47. My scissors are pretty sharp, but they could probably go out to the shop and be sharpened some more. I'll get Wayne on that, because that's a good point. They've not been sharpened for a long time. It used to be when we would go to our meetings, we had a lady in our team, her name was Beth Hooper, and she would bring her little sharpening doohickey, and while we were talking and doing business and stuff, she would sharpen people's scissors for them, which was very nice. It was very nice indeed. All right, and let's see. Let's find my soft succulent and give ourselves a little grass here. That it will never open that way. Just so you know, you can't ever open it that way. Hey, Connie, glad you could join us. And I assure you, Mass is more important than this card. And the video will be here, so take your time. Just a little bit of grass. I really like this grass. I don't know why I like it so much, but I really do. I really do. But I'm not going to put any more because that's overkill. It's too much, Mary. Too much. Just stop. Stop the madness, Mary. All right. And then we'll put it on our mint macaron card base. This is such a soft little color palette. Pool Party and Soft Succulent and Mint Macaron. I like it a lot. It's one of the cool things, one of the multiply cool things about the Celebrate Everything DSP. It literally gives you so many options for cards and designs and occasions. That's what I love about it. You've got Christmas, you've got Halloween, you've got any occasion kinds of things. It's just a really nice set of paper, and it's very heavy, very much the high quality paper that you're used to from Stampin' Up. So that is nice. They did not decide to skimp, even with it being a free set for our hosts. All right, so a little liquid glue in there, and then some more dimensionals for the front. And this card will be in the history books. We'll just make us a little envelope and be done. Now see, apparently I was not in efficient mode today, or I would have already... Yeah, I don't cut them with paper. I don't cut paper with them. I use my snips for that. So I do try very hard to be good. I can still remember my grandmother telling me, no, you may not use my fabric scissors for paper. No, ma'am, you may not. Okay, Mimo. All right, so there we go. there's that. And we'll stamp our weeper on the front here. And then we'll be done. We'll be so done for so long. And we're going to do mint macaron. I'm going to push this out the way because I am fixing to get ink everywhere. I can feel it. You know, like right before lightning strikes, it gets really electrical in the atmosphere. Well, that's what I was feeling. I was like, oh, it's coming. It wants to stamp and get ink everywhere. Don't do it, Mary. Step away from the ink pad. Thanks, Margine. Yeah, soft succulent and mint macaron. A little bit of a match made in heaven, really. And you could even add evening evergreen into that mix and it would be gorgeous. I didn't, but partly because the paper that I found has Pool Party as its base from Celebrate Everything, and I liked it so much that I used it. Yep, that's exactly what I have, but I just don't use these on the paper. I really like my snips for that because they're so much more precise. Let me go ahead and I'll stamp some. Oh, I got to stamp a trunk first. You can't put grass until you have your trunk. I think that is a rule. Pretty sure that's a rule. All right, so here comes our soft suede trunk. And then put this away, and some soft succulent grass. There we go. And then a little more of the Celebrate Everything. See what's on the back? So wouldn't that be fun for New Year's or the 4th of July? But we're going to use what looks like clouds to me. It looks like clouds to me. And then we'll be done, Skay. This musical interlude brought to you by Stamps-N-Lingers. Quick fussy cut here. And 1, 2, 3. Done. There it is. Boom. There it is. Da 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 da. Boom. There it is. Isn't that fun? I love this stamp set. And you can make topiaries of different shapes, and you can have pots, and you can have other grass. It's just fun. Countless Trees, page 47, a mere $21. You need it. Trust me on this. All right? And don't let Celebrate Everything get by you. All right. Okay, guys, I appreciate you spending part of your weekend with me, and I hope I will see you next Thursday for our Facebook. I don't see anything on my agenda for next Thursday, so we should be good to go. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks. Ta.